What is going on, my friends? So today I finally make a video where we'll be comparing MK Mobile to MK Onslaught. You know, those are the two mobile versions of Mortal Kombat franchise, and we will be putting them to the test based on the 10 criterias or the 10 let's say areas where they should be either better or worse or equal. Let's go that way. I'll be comparing them both when it comes to the number of game modes, which game has a better graphic, which game is more free-to-play friendly, the general gameplay, bugs and stability, quality of life things, support, skill required, update frequency, update quality, and the player base in the sense that which game has the bigger popularity. Let's go that way. So I'll be giving 1 point if each of the game win a category, so the total number of maximum points that you can get is 10. If you lose in a particular category, you get 0 points. So I'll be starting with the first one, which is actually the game modes. Now, let's be real. I think that I require a bigger brush, so it's going to be like this. 1 game modes. Let's be real, MK Onslaught has 0 chance to win here. MK Onslaught has a couple of game modes, which is Towers, Chasm, and Arena. I will be... yeah, you can argue that the newer characters, when they arrive, they have this specific Chronicle event. So yeah, let's go with 4 game modes. But the biggest problem with these game modes is that they are all, and I mean all, time gated. So even if you want to play, if you already played your matches in Arena, and if you already completed Chasm, completed Towers, there's nothing to do in the game. And that's the #1 issue in MK Onslaught, that you reach a point in about a month and a half into the game when there's nothing to do in the game. You just kind of try to climb Arena, but again, even Arena is time gated. So I believe the total winner here is Mortal Kombat Mobile. Why is that? Because Mortal Kombat Mobile has more or less the same number of game modes. We have Crypt, we have Towers, and we have Action Wars. So we have 3 kind of relative game modes, but apart from Towers, you can play the rest as much as you want. Yeah, you need keys now to play the Crypt, but keys are not really that difficult to get, and Faction Wars you can play unlimited amount of time. So, first point, MK Mobile. The second thing, graphics. Alright, so it's going to be like this, GR. Let's see who is, or actually which game is the winner here. For the graphics, I will go for MK Mobile. Again, even though it's kind of close, I just don't like the fact that in MK Onslaught the graphics are so zoomed out, so I cannot really take advantage of the fact that actually MK Onslaught has very good graphics, but I prefer MK Mobile. This is my personal opinion. Even though MK Mobile is 9 years old, I believe it looks perfect for a mobile game, so MK Mobile is a clear winner for me here. Somebody will disagree, but this is my opinion. #3 is free-to-play friendly. Alright, so if I was doing this comparison 2 years ago, and MK Onslaught was existing 2 years ago, I would give MK Onslaught a clear point, because MK Mobile was super pay to win. Everything was behind pay to win walls, and it was incredible. Currently though, I wouldn't say that MK Mobile is pay to win. More or less, everything that you need you can get. The new character you can get from the crypt immediately, the new gear you can get from the crypt immediately, the new character you can get from Towers, and in the general case, you can defeat the end game activity in like 1 or 2 months. The same thing in MK Onslaught, by the way, you can defeat the Towers in 1 or 2 months. And MK Onslaught though, if you don't pay, you cannot rank top 10 in Arena. That's not happening. So, if I have to be completely honest, I believe MK Onslaught is a little bit more pay to win than MK Mobile, but I'm going to give them both a point here. I believe that being first or top 10 in Arena, it's not really a big thing in the sense that you don't get a lot of stuff. So, points each game for being free-to-play friendly. #4 is going to be bugs. Oh boy, bugs. MKO, clear winner. Now, lately MKO crashes in Arena, which is super annoying. It will crash on average once every 20 or 30 fights. But before that, I don't remember a single bug that was really bugging me. There are certain equipment pieces that are bugged sometimes in MK Onslaught, and sometimes the game crashes in Arena, and more or less that's it. If there's a game impairing bug, for instance, after an update there was a situation where you enter Arena and the game crashes, but they patch it immediately, so it doesn't count. MK Mobile though is swarming with bugs, even though the last couple of 1 or 2 weeks, they did a lot of things to improve it. Still, MK Onslaught is a clear winner. Much more stable game, you cannot expect a lot of bugs there. Number 5. We have quality of life features. Oh my god, clear winner here, MK Mobile. Now again, if I was doing this 2 years or 3 years ago, MK Mobile would be probably worse, if not the same with MK Onslaught. But the thing is, in MK Mobile you have a lot of quality of life things. You can preset teams, you can preset talents, you have a lot of filters, and the filters keep expanding with each update. Well, we just recently got in MK Onslaught a way to filter stuff based on, for instance, whether the character is doing magical damage or whether the character is doing physical damage. So MK Mobile is a clear winner here, which is kind of expected because it's expected and it is not expected at the same time. For one thing, MK Mobile is a much older game, but the developers could have learned from everything that the community requested for the lifespan of the game, like 9 years, and implemented that in Onslaught. However, for some reason they didn't do that. In Onslaught, for instance, there is a way to preset teams. The problem is that you need to have specific gear sets, and like in Arena this doesn't really make sense because in Arena you need to be as strong as possible. So I would love to have presets that will change the gear as well. You see where I'm going? So if I place gear A on character A and then create a preset and then create another preset, but I put gear A on character B, I would like, when I select preset 2 and switch the teams, I would like this gear to switch itself as well. I don't mind being charged for that, even though I believe the whole thing with charging is not really that bright, but it's my opinion. And this is the reason why I don't really think that the Onslaught has a lot of quality of life features. Now, gameplay. GMPL. Oh my god. My handwriting is horrible. I'm sorry, MK Onslaught, but MK Mobile is the clear winner here, because the gameplay of Mortal Kombat Onslaught is close to non-existent. Now, I will basically talk about the skill as number 7 here, so because those two things are very, very connected. Okay. The gameplay in MK Onslaught is you simply do specials, and that's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. You can argue that it's the same thing in MK Mobile. You simply do specials and you tap on the screen. That's correct. However, at least you have the opportunity to tag in and out at the correct moments. So it is not that brain dead, right? While in MK Onslaught, you just trigger the skills. In fact, the biggest, like 90% of the skill involved in MK Onslaught actually happens before the fight. So you can get the correct gears, the correct relics. But let's be real, even when we talk about this, in 90% of the cases, the tank should have a health gear, even 99%. And the guy, the warrior, or let's say the assassin, should have an attack gear. In certain situations, for instance, critical damage gear. But, yeah, I wouldn't say that it requires tons of skill. So, in MK Mobile, though, it requires some skill. You know, to beat certain specific fights, you need to have some knowledge, and you need to play well. So not only select the gear, because you're doing the gear selection before the game, both in MK Mobile, in MK Onslaught, but once the game starts, in MK Mobile, you need to have more skill. So, oh my god, I don't have any room, so I have to do like this. M, K, M. Alright, so for the gameplay and skill, I'm sorry, but Mortal Kombat Mobile is the clear winner. Now, let's talk about support. Oh my god, it's getting even uglier. Alright, so we're going to have support. Here, though, based on my experience, I will go for Mortal Kombat Onslaught. Despite the fact that, more or less, they should have the same support, every single time when I contact the support of MK Mobile, my issue wasn't fixed, for some reason. But when I contacted the support of MK Onslaught, I believe once or twice, they fixed my problem. So, I would be inclined to give a point to MK Onslaught here. I don't know about you guys, but it's just my experience with MK Mobile when it comes to support has never been positive, which is unfortunate. Number 9, updates. MK Onslaught. I'm sorry. For one thing, MK Onslaught has more frequent updates in MK Mobile. And I love the fact that every single time when they introduce a new character, we have, not every single time, but let's say in 80% of the cases, because certain characters don't have chronicles. But my point is, the moment you introduce this character, you have the Chronicles event, which is super cool. And I wish we had something in MK Mobile like this. So they introduce a shop alongside with the character, and it feels nice. And on top of everything in MK Mobile, let's be real, one of the biggest issues with the game is that we get one update once every 3 or 4 months. And in case of an update that literally gives you one gold character in 4 months, the situation is getting really bad for players, and the players are getting pissed. Well, in MK Onslaught, we got an update once every month, on average, once every 2 months, so it's a little bit more frequent. And clear victory for MK Onslaught. And the 10 players, PPL, clear winner MK Mobile. Now, I am not going to talk about what is the 100% confirmed information, how many players are playing MK Onslaught, how many players are playing MK Mobile, and what is the revenue of MK Mobile against MK Onslaught. I can literally see every single time when they release a video about MK Onslaught, almost nobody watches. Nobody cares about the game, unfortunately. At least from the people who are watching my channel. The views are always like 4 or 5 times lower than they usually are. Like, you can even see, for instance, in my Discord server, there is a thread for MK Onslaught, and like literally 3 or 4 people are frequently in there talking about the game. The general case is that people are not really that impressed, according to what I saw with MK Onslaught, so a lot of people were choosing to play MK Mobile instead. Now, once again, the biggest problem with MK Onslaught, and the reason why this is happening, is here. It is right here. The game modes in MK Onslaught simply don't make sense after 1.5 months in the game. Because you do all the towers, I'm not going to lie, like clearing the towers is challenging and it's fun. You do Chasm, it's again challenging and fun. And then you only have Arena. But the problem with Arena is one thing, it's time gated, so you cannot play Arena all the time. So in a lot of cases you open the game, you want to play the game, but you cannot because everything is on a timer and you cannot play the game, which is horrible. So, and even when you play the game in Arena, you face the whole, like the same players all the time, and it's getting so annoying. For instance, sometimes I intentionally do some kind of a troll defense so I can drop in rankings. For one thing, I admit it's easier to beat the guys that are lower, but there is the thing that I am just sick and tired of facing the same, let's say, pool of 10 players. I want to face somebody else. I want to test something with, let's say, with characters that are weaker against weaker players. So, not saying that they have lower skill than me, but they didn't spend that much on the game. Yeah, Arena is so boring. Arena, the only game mode that's kind of not time-gated. It's boring not only because it's like every single time when a new character is released, the meta changes and you face the same team over and over again, but because you also face the same players. Anyways, guys, I hope you found this video useful. Now, if you have to count the points we have, Mortal Kombat Mobile has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points, while MK Onslaught will has to suffice with 4 points, actually. Look at this. MK Onslaught has 1 here, 2, 3, 4. So the final verdict is 7-4 MK Mobile, which is kind of expected because MK Mobile is a really, let's say, old game, and it has been improving over the years, while MK Onslaught is like a 6 months old or even less. And I hope MK Onslaught is going to improve. And the biggest thing that they have to do, the biggest thing is we need a new game mode that is no time gated. If not 1, then 2. If not 2, then 3. A new game mode. I don't care about new characters being released. I simply don't. All I want is a new game mode, so the game can actually kick off and be more enjoyable to players. See you next time, guys. Take care.